Hey guys, welcome to another BS podcast. I hope you're doing all right. Today we've got a fabulous guest, Kyle, KK Comics. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been on here. I'm so sorry. I had a big move, okay? We're finally getting settled in. I'm finally getting like unboxed, but there's still like a big pile of like cardboard boxes just in the living room that we're working through, and I just forgot how much moving just sucks.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But it also is great because I'm out of that. I can't remember if I talked about it on the show, but I had like a bad fly infestation in my old place. And it was just hot as balls, and it was sticky, and it sucked. So it's much better now.
You got proper air conditioning now.
Yeah, proper AC, not 30 flies in the kitchen.
Oh, right.
So I can't complain that much. Right. How are you doing, Jason?
I'm doing okay. Same old, just work, kids, and the usual. So no big reports for me. But we do have a great guest today. I'm super excited. There's another new guy that we don't actually know that well, so I'm really interested to talk to him. Kyle, you want to give the proper introduction?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're very excited to get to know you today. Today's guest is an old school RuneScape's Twitch streamer who does all the insane challenges that motherfuckers like Jason and I would not even dream of doing. Like doing Theater of Blood, soloing Theater of Blood on Hardcore Iron Man, and the list goes on. So we're hoping you can impart some of your expertise and talk about how the hell you do it. So please welcome a cold one. And my first question, as always, is how are you doing today?
Yeah, doing pretty well. Thinking about having a jog after the podcast is done. I've been trying to be keeping up on those, trying to stay in shape and stuff. But pretty nice day so far.
Hell yeah!
Awesome.
Thank you for asking. Hope your day's going good too, my guy.
Thank you.
Great. So speaking of a cold one, I thought about it, I do have a story for you, Kyle, from the weekend. I left a 12-pack of soda in the back of my car, and it's been like 105 degrees or so this week. Oh my God. And I pulled it out of the back of my car at night, not thinking about it. And it was still a little warm. I pulled one open, and it was like a shotgun blast went off in my hand. I'm lucky I still have all my fingers. So public service for everybody out there: don't leave your soda or beer in the car, and open it up when it's a little too hot. You'll keep all your ditches intact. But speaking,
I'm gonna think of that every time.
Now you're gonna tentatively open your soda up every time you open it, like, oh, please don't explode on me. Now I'm like scarred too. I'm like afraid to open soda. I'm like holding it away from me now. It's but
Jesus Christ.
But as far as cold ones, what's your drink of choice there? A cold one?
It depends if we're talking about mixed drinks, we're talking about craft beer, normal beer you can get from a 7-Eleven real fast. Like, what are we shooting for right now?
Okay, if you had to go grab one out of the fridge right now, what are you grabbing?
Well, right now we just have Modelo in the fridge, and that's one of my two favorites alongside Stella. So one of those two.
Nice.
Oh,
we're just talking just normal beer.
Nice. You're a big beer drinker, or anything else in your fridge?
Definitely not as much as I used to be, like in my 20s. But yeah, I still definitely enjoy the drink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just depends on whatever me and my roommate feel like picking up.
Yeah. So was that your first name that you went with, was a cold one, or did you have some previous names that you finally worked up to a cold one?
I had a previous name that was my original RSN login, and for obvious reasons I can't give that out. Yeah. But it was just a stupid name based off something that I was a fan of with numbers after it.
Okay, that's what I figured. It was like a cold one seems pretty good for a first login. So there's got to be some name with numbers that was your original account, and then you've since moved on to a cold one.
Yeah, whenever Jagex brought in, it was the name changer system in like 2009, I think they brought it out.
Yeah,
I was like, I go for an OG name and remove the numbers, and back then I was just like, starting my college phases. That's when I was in the end of my first year of my university. So yeah, you can see how that name came to be.
Yeah,
and why I landed on that of all things.
That's maturity right there. The second that you change the name from Naruto 1995 to a cold one, that's adulthood.
That's a sign right there.
So
when did you start? Sorry.
No, it's your turn. Your turn, Kyle. Yeah, this is by the way, but this is our show. I know you were on more professional podcasts like OSRS podcast and Sebe and such, but our podcast is just me and Kyle talking over the whole time. So real professionalism. Just you'll get used to it. But
Sebe's cast, we're like close and everything. We talked over each other all the time. There was at one point where we both AFK'd for like 8 minutes. Like, one of us used the bathroom, one of us cooked something. Like, let's just put this on pause for a second.
All right. That makes me feel a little bit better, but even then, like after like 8 months of doing this show with Jason and I, we still will immediately start to ask a question at the exact same time. So, anyway, I just want to ask like when it was that you started playing the game. It doesn't have to be like an exact year, but like just like a time frame.
I still remember the exact day and exact time that I started playing the game, and it was my cousin that introduced me to it when I was just hanging out at his place for the weekend. And it was when the game was still in Classic and RS2 was just in beta. It was like early February I got into it.
Wow.
And the graphics looked absolutely terrible.
Oh, yeah.
But I was drawn to it because I'm just a sucker for retro games like that.
Right. Well, damn, you're more boomer than us then. Yeah, what the hell? That's not fair.
Well, welcome to the Boomer Club podcast. You belong here. You're one of us, man.
Yeah.
Feels good, man.
How long have you been a serious player, though? Because, I mean, the stuff you do now is just crazy. Like, with Theater of Blood solo, hardcore, with, like, No Prayer, and all kinds of other stuff I would never dream of. When did you really get into the game where you were, like, just grinding stuff out?
I'd have to say it would be maybe 3 or 4 months after Chambers of Xeric released, when Wooks was consistently soloing it. I'm like, that looks kind of interesting. I want to give that a try.
What year was that?
That was 2017. Chambers got released,
fairly recently.
Right at the start of it.
So were you more casual until then, or were you had everything maxed out or something like that, and then decided to really make a full-time?
I'm never maxing. We'll just put that on the table. I'm never maxing an account. That's not going to happen.
All right, welcome to the club, man.
Yeah. No, I kind of just played casually. I think at that point it was either you would like grind skills and stuff, because there wasn't really that much in the way of like hardcore gaming. There were no raids released. Inferno hadn't come out yet. The PvP scene had also been kind of dead in a sense for like the past like year or so. Right. So it was in like an odd stage. But everything was just more casual. Like you just trained Slayer, you did like, some of the basic bosses that we have out there, even God Wars. But you have people like Cloud Badass that will do like a 24-hour trip at DKs without having a bank and stuff like that, or redoing some insane amount of kills at Saradomin without leaving the room. So there's stuff like that, but I never got into it until raids came to the board.
Oh, okay. When did you get into your Twitch stuff? Right around the same time, or would you feel like, you know what, I'm good at this, maybe I should start streaming this?
It was pretty much around the same time, because as soon as I started getting consistent with solos, a lot of the people in the clan I was in were curious on how to get into it as well. And Twitch is a platform. A buddy of mine, Rice Cup, you might know him. He does the podcast who you've also interviewed. Mm-hmm. He was the one that helped me get started with like operating OBS, setting up a stream and everything, and also tossed me an audience quite a few times at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So I would just use Twitch pretty much just to teach my clanmates, like, hey, here's what I do for solo raids. Here's how you, like, conquer some of the rooms, how you deal with some of the mechanics. And looking back at it now, I realize how much of a noob I actually was doing it. Compared to it now, I'm just like, oh, man.
Yeah. Well, I could use you as a tutor now, because like me and Kyle said, we're extreme casual people. Our frame of reference is pretty much 2008 to 2011, which is kind of the dead era now, because RS3 has moved on to its own game, and then everything now is based on 2007. That's kind of morphed into its own game as well. So we're in that dead era that doesn't exist anymore. Like when I'm trying to do videos, I'm looking for emotes that don't exist anymore. Or if I'm like want to train stuff, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just like chop down magic trees. That's how you level, right? And, and people will be like, oh, you want to use this mini game or something now. So I'm completely lost on how to play the game. So at some point, I probably need to bring you on as like my hand holder to show me how to actually play this game these days, because I don't know what I'm doing.
Said before, I've got no problem holding the guy's hand.
That's great. Awesome. So say I wanted to start a hardcore Iron Man account. What would you suggest I do at first to kind of get it leveled up? What goals would I want to set up to do that?
Well, I'd give you one of two choices, and somebody actually asked me this earlier today for just starting an Iron Man in general, and it's kind of the same thing. I would tell you, do you want to spend days and days at Wintertodd and get 99 fire making knocked out of the way like immediately is the first thing you do, or not?
No, I'll pass on that one.
Okay. So the thing I tell you to do is just prioritize finishing the quest log as soon as possible. There's 2 really good early game quests, which a lot of people already kind of know about. The Waterfall quest, which gives you 30 attack and strength, and the Witch's House, which gives you 20-something HP.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you a little bit of a foundation to just kind of do some stuff with.
Okay.
And then just prioritize finishing the quest log as best you can, because the experience rewards are a bit better early on than they are later on.
Okay.
For quite a lot of quests. Like, not including the Grandmasters, like, those rewards at that point are kind of whatever, and they're just used to unlock stuff, but just the experience rewards from so many quests, like even Fight Arena, I think gives you like 10k attack or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty gnarly on early game.
Okay. So I'm trying to do the quest log now just to get the quest cape back, and I'm already like just grinding away on that, but that's already quite a I got a lot of red. I'm looking at it now. I got quite a bit of red. But I'm going that way. So to do like something like Theater of Blood, what would you suggest to if I want to work my way to solo Theater of Blood with no items or however you do it, where it's crazy hard? What do I need to get to that point?
Are you talking about still just training an account from scratch, or just like getting to the point where you would want to do it?
Get to the point where I could do it, I guess.
I wouldn't jump into Theater of Blood right away if it's going to be your first PVM experience, just because Theater of Blood's a bit like up there.
Yeah.
As far as the hard content goes.
Okay, so what steps do I need to take so that I'm to that point where I can actually look at it and not be scared and want to run off to the corner?
For starters, I'd say have your first boss that you want to learn be Zulrah, because it teaches you a lot of basics about movement for mechanics, switching prayers.
I have to write these all down. I don't know any of the bosses these days. These are all stuff that came out way past my day. Yeah, I know. Showing my boomer age here. Yeah, you have to show me where these bosses are. So where are these bosses that I can get to? Zulrah.
All right. Do you remember the Regicide quest?
No, I don't remember a whole lot.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
You know.
And this guy had a quest cape back in 2009.
Hey, now shots fired! Come on. What quest is that?
Boy.
That's the one where you like launch a flaming ball of dynamite at some king's tent in the Elfland.
Oh my gosh! No, that might have been the elf stuff. I don't think came out yet. I don't remember doing
No, that was out.
Oh,
that, okay. Roving Elves, Morning's End Part 1 and 2 were out by 2009.
Roving Elves, okay.
Jason, you did these quests.
I must have done them. I probably slept through it or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Did you bot them?
Bought a quest. No, I don't think I botted them. I actually probably just skipped through them because I was in the middle of making a video at the time. I was like, oh god, I got to do a new quest that just came out. Skip. Okay, I'm done. Let's go do that video again. But okay, so do the quests. Get up. What was the boss game? I forgot the boss name. I'm just embarrassing myself.
All right.
This guy's just shaking his head at me the whole time.
Nah.
This is now Jason Makes a Hardcore Iron Man podcast.
Yeah. Well, aren't they coming out with group Iron Man now?
Yeah, they are.
I need a hook. I need you as my group mate, my wingman, so you could hold my hand around and drag me around and show me what to do. But
I'm gonna be that 9-ring guy, the one guy playing 5 accounts at the same time, so I can stand alone. I can stand alone together with all my ults.
All linked together, so you're just playing. Yeah, just throw me in there. Just make me one of your alts, and I can tag along, figure out what to do.
There you go. So Brennan, what are you working on now in the game? I saw, and I wanted to ask about this. I couldn't find anything in your Twitter feed, but it says that you were de-ironed. Can you explain that to us boomers?
All right. So the account I made when I came back to the game, I guess something I left out is I took a bit of a break from it, like multiple times. So
no, who does that?
Yeah. So I've been around in this game from 2004 until a little after Free Trade came back, because it gave like a bit of a boom and excitement, and then that kind of like died for me after a few weeks, and then I just completely quit. And then I came back for Old School's release for about 3 months or so. With pretty much just like, got basic quests done, got Barrow's Gloves, got the Fire Cape, and then just got right to Edgeville Ditch and just started PKing. Scene started dying down quite a bit. There weren't that many fights out there. And I was kind of grinding my rank on League of Legends a little bit, and I was having more fun with that.
Nice.
So I just hopped off of Old School completely for 2 years, didn't even think about it. And then one of my buddies tells me, he's like, hey, there's a new game mode out called Iron Man. It's pretty cool. In Old School RuneScape. I'm like, oh yeah, what's it about? It's like, well, you do everything by yourself. You don't trade. And then you hate your life after you're about 30 hours invested into it. I was like, that sounds great. Let me log in real quick and see what it's like.
Yeah.
So I hopped onto it, and I didn't go in with like any guide or anything, which is why I tell some people to just play the game mode like this. I literally had probably some of the most fun, like those first 2 or 3 months playing that Iron Man. Just no sense of direction, just looking like an absolute champion.
Yeah.
In like the most disgusting gear ever, and then getting the Dragon Scimitar. I'm like, man, I just unlocked this on an Iron Man. I didn't trade or nothing for this. I worked up the stats for this, got Hero's Quest done, Legends Quest. And then, yeah, I fell into that like old school RuneScape black hole where you just there's no escape. You're just there forever. You'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got heavily enthralled into the account. That's kind of where I started like looking at all the new updates. Like Zora, I didn't know was out for like a year and a half or so already, or something like that. Maybe a year. Mm-hmm. And eventually I got to that point. I started learning the boss, and like it just became my main account. Like the main account I had was still kind of scuffed, and like when I actually came back to it, I found it got recovered. It was just randomly sitting in Edgeville with 4 fire capes in its inventory, and the bank completely wiped out of all the money I had. I'm like, well, I guess this got hacked in the 2 years I was gone, so that account's completely dead to me.
Damn.
So I'll skip like all the nitty gritty stuff of the Iron Man. Eventually got to the point where I'd already finished every boss, got every item, done every challenge I wanted to do. I was like, I don't want to just like have fun without having to do 4 hours of chores to do 2 raids.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
And the reveals at RuneFest 2019 weren't all that great. I wasn't excited for them. I was like, yeah, let me just take the helmet off real quick. It'll make it a bit easier to breathe.
There you go.
And I just started having fun being the main account. And now here I am playing Hardcore Iron Man like nothing happened.
So then your accounts right now are, you have a Hardcore Iron Man and like a main regular account then?
Yep. Wow. So if you ever get bored of like, just early game Iron stuff or anything Iron, I can just hop on the main and vice versa.
You usually stream from the Hardcore Iron Man? Which one's your favorite to play right now?
Right now it's the Hardcore just because combat achievements I'm kind of just done with. I did all the challenges I wanted to do, and the other ones I've got left are kind of like KC grinds and boring stuff.
Yeah.
But it wavers. Sometimes the Hardcore's got to do something boring like blow 60,000 molten glass into some crap. And I'm like, this isn't fun, so let me just go hop on the main and go play that. Right. Or I like do the glass in downtime or something.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think you might have uncovered the secret, because I find that whenever I think about starting a Hardcore Iron Man, and I assume that other people have experienced this as well, maybe not, I don't know. Like the struggle of just how do you keep the game consistently fresh for yourself once you've kind of like, I feel like people like us have kind of like wrung the RuneScape towel like out to dry, and like there's not much left in it.
It's a good way of putting it.
But like with Iron Man,
yes.
Yeah, you've kind of dunked the towel like one more time in like some old water, and you're kind of wringing it out even more. Like, is it still like? It sounds like you're able to still keep it kind of fresh, but like you can. Would you agree? Like, does it still feel like kind of fresh when you play it that way? You've got that main account, the Iron Man account. Or does it feel like the game needs to innovate?
I just want to say real quick before I answer this, the way you described it with wringing the towel with old water, I could not have described it more perfectly than that.
Like hot dog water.
Yeah,
almost like reheating already reheated leftovers and being like
right.
Fresh meal.
Exactly. Yep, that's how it feels. So that's where the state of the game is.
Yeah. Well, we did get to the announcements of Raids 3, which is kind of cool, but it's definitely like grown its course over time, but maybe it's just because we've played it for so long and for maybe so many hours in a row without playing other stuff. But even just like, if I don't feel like playing either account, I'll just play something else.
Yeah.
I don't have to just play RuneScape. There's a billion other games we can play.
Yeah.
Exactly. What else you playing?
Right now the other game I stream is Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64, but it's randomized.
Nice. Oh, you're doing the randomizer. Yeah, I got a friend of mine does that too. It looks a lot of fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What's Ross's handle now? Is he your pal Ross? Yeah. He's a former Minecraft guy, but he used to do RuneScape as well, and he streams the randomizer stuff every now and then. It looks really fun, but like I'm also I was freaked out by Majora's Mask when I was a kid, and like there's still that subconscious fear that I have of that game for some. I don't know why. It's like
how you're afraid
game.
of everything though.
Like, yeah, that's true. I'm afraid of a lot of things. I'm just like, I'll just watch people play it.
Yeah, I was too, but that's why I liked it. Like it was just sick. Like all these references to like, just ominous things and the 5 stages of grief being referenced in there, I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a lot to take in when you're a kid.
It was a good game. Is he in the randomizer Discord by any chance? Because there's a very shockingly large community for Majora's Mask randomizer.
Really? I didn't realize.
Wiener was saying the moon was the nightmare. Was that the scary part of the game for you guys?
Just the final day, like the final hours, if you look up and you see the moon is like larger than your TV screen, it kind of looks a bit freaky,
Yeah. That's cool though.
Yeah.
Are you playing anything else?
Other games I'll play in just downtime is I still play League of Legends, but I don't play the rank system anymore. I haven't played in years. Now we just play for ARAM and just pretty much just purely for fun, no competitive aspect.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the kind of MOBA games are I got really into Dota 2 for a while, and when you start to get really sweaty with it and you start getting mad at your friends, it's like that's the point where you're like, okay, I think I gotta dial this back a bit.
Yeah. There's one thing League taught me is that MOBAs literally just bring out the worst in people.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's pretty toxic culture there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That and CS:GO, but I still have fun with CS:GO.
CS:GO can
That's
be
the
fun.
only difference.
As long as you're not competitive with the game,
Yeah.
it can be kind of fun. But yeah, it can get kind of toxic as well. As far as your Twitch stream though, what would you say if I had a new person in my chat here and they haven't seen you, how would you describe what you do? You still there?
Either yeah, I'm still there. I'm just trying to think of like how would I describe it to somebody completely new. Are we talking somebody that's never played RuneScape or somebody that's never seen the kind of stuff that I do?
Somebody that's familiar with RuneScape but hasn't seen what you did, I guess.
Oh wait, I want to hear the explanation of somebody who's never played RuneScape because like I'm writing these words down. I'm just like, what if I tried to describe this to like Taylor, my partner, and it's just like what is the theater of what is it that you do? Like how do you
explain it to a person in the airport that you've just met? What do you do for a living?
Explaining a game you've been playing for like 20 years and it's still like a fun game to play. Like I have such a hard time explaining that to people that don't play RuneScape. So I would love to hear both of your. Sorry, I'm putting you in the spot right now. I'd love to hear both of your explanations of how would you describe this to a RuneScape player and how would you describe it to like a non-RuneScape player? Just because I'm so morbidly curious.
Okay, so to a RuneScape player, playing the game but making it unnecessarily hard. And to someone who's not played RuneScape, crack addiction gone wrong.
Oh my god, that's too real. This game is like that. It is funny because that was the old saying that we would have back in even like the video maker community back then. I feel like people still say it now. It's like nobody quits this game.
Yeah.
You just take breaks. You're back.
True.
You can't leave.
Some Gmod once said, "You never quit RuneScape. You just go AFK." I'm like, yeah, kind of true.
Wise, put that on a shirt. Jeez.
Yeah, it still holds true.
Yeah.
Like anytime I take a break from this game, I just somehow get sucked right back in. I'm just like, well, I'm home.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. It's you've had so many memories. It feels like a weird home away from home experience where you can't really give up on it. You still find yourself coming back to it.
Right. How long have you been taking a break from streaming at all? When did you start? You started that, you said back in 2017. Have you taken a break since then, or are you still pretty hardcore with what you've been doing?
So when I started in 2017, it was maybe a stream like once a week, twice a week, or something like that. Just whenever I felt like clicking live, because I was working either 1 or 2 jobs during those times.
Mm-hmm.
So that was typically like my priority.
Oh my god, you're working 2 jobs and streaming at some points?
I mean, if I'm just going live for like 2 hours, it's nothing. It's basically the free time I have left when I get home before I go to sleep. Like, yeah, sure, I'll chat shit with some people.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. And then, like, as time kind of went on, when it was like off season, like not the summer, like the summers where I'd normally have 2 jobs because I'd be working somewhere else in addition to where I normally did work.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But like during fall, during winter, during spring, I'd have a lot more free time, so I'd dedicate more time to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like as interest started like increasing and everything, and then it kind of started getting to a point where I was looking at things. I was like, this is actually like kind of going somewhere.
When was that? When did you say you started like? When do you think you started blowing up with? Because you're partnered on Twitch, so I mean you're no small potato like I am. You've actually got a following. When did that start happening?
I think it started snowballing after I first sold Theater of Blood, because at the time only 3 other people had done it, and it was a very like rare thing to see back then. Nowadays we have the whole entire thing figured out to a science.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But it started like around that. That's where everything started to snowball a bit more.
Yeah.
And it kind of just expanded from there. I was thinking about, like, after de-ironing, I was thinking about, what if I just did a solo on a hardcore? And I had that idea in mind. And then, yeah, it just kind of grew from that point on.
Well, you had,
what it is now.
10,000 views on or live actual viewers when you were doing solo hardcore?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh my god!
I never looked at the number. I had literally nothing else open when I did the run, just OBS and the RuneLite client.
I would probably be ignoring the chat too if I was soloing that on
a. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, that's the way you have to do it.
So, chat, how's it going? I'm
I'm just out here risking my life in the Hearthstone game right now. What's going on, guys?
I don't think I could pull that off. I don't think I could do anything with that. I have a hard enough time looking at the chat now, just talking on a podcast and trying to keep focused on what I'm talking about here, and then reading the chat. I can't imagine like live streaming something like that and not dying.
Dude, even when you're just bank standing, it's impossible sometimes, I swear.
Yeah, I'm very bad at multitasking.
Same. Meanwhile, we're RuneScape players, we should be experts at it by this point.
Right. So would you say your hardcore... would you say that solo hardcore of Theater of Blood, is that your kind of your pinnacle, or have you had any other high points that you can think across your streaming career?
That is most definitely my peak. It's only downhill from here. 100%. There's no topping that for me.
Welcome to the other side now.
Yeah, marriage, having a kid, fuck that, dude. I got Theater of Blood on Hardcore Iron Man.
Yeah, there's a meme out there for that. The guy like with the girlfriend that looks disinterested.
At the sports game and everything, we have a huge meme about that. Just because on the first room, so something I did before I started the run, I put on an overlay just to hide my client because I didn't want anyone to see what world I was on in case somebody like tried to crash it or anything like that,
right?
Or fill it up with players, make it lag. So I put up an overlay, which was literally just a picture of that guy saying, "Hey, I'm gonna so anyway, I'm gonna solo Theater of Blood and Hardcore Iron Man." That overlay stayed there for about 80% of the first boss until I had that like thing click in my head that made me think, did I leave the garage door open before I left the house? Like it just clicked like, did I leave that overlay on? And then like it's at a point in the fight, like the last 20% is kind of just move and like click, and she attacks very slow. I look at it, I'm like, son of a bitch, it's so long.
Oh no.
Some people thought I was like just being like a troll or something like that. No, I'm legit that dumb sometimes.
No, I love that though. That's fucking great. And
sounds like something I would do.
Just like people are totally fine with just like watching you do that without like needing you to interact with them. They're there for the experience. Like that's fucking cool to me.
Mm-hmm. It was great. Like after the whole thing was done, like my phone was on the opposite side of my bedroom and everything, and my brother and my family had it up on the TV down in Florida where they live because they know they know what I do. They know what I was doing was big. And I look at my phone and open it up, and I see a spam of like 9 text messages. My brother is like, "Brendan, you forgot to take down the overlay. Brendan, you forgot to take down the overlay." It's just like spamming me. I'm like,
that's awesome. I've done a podcast without my microphone on for like 15 minutes and didn't even notice it. So it's just like me, like people talk it up and then like answering random questions because you can't hear what I'm asking. So it's a thing. We do it.
Welcome to the life of streamers.
Yeah,
Mike just being muted for 10 minutes and nobody tells you. They're just laughing and typing giggling emotes and stuff.
Exactly. It's really cool that your family is kind of into what you do. Do they kind of understand like the RuneScape scene at all, or not really?
My brothers used to play the game like pretty much as casually as I did, like way back when it was still the main game and didn't like change graphics into HD and stuff. They were heavy into it too. And I still have some very fun memories of us playing Castle Wars at like 3 a.m. on Mom's kitchen PC.
Oh my god,
3 a.m.
Those were the days, dude.
Yeah. Sitting there in full Mystic, casting firebolts, thinking like, oh yeah,
Oh
King.
my god, dude! That's like we used to have like LAN parties of we would just do like Barrows runs, and we would get destroyed because we were way too low level for it. We were just like, let's get together and do some Barrows, and none of us would fucking do it. Like we were way too bad at the game. Good times.
Dude, the amount of times I died to Barrows back in the day with the old death system and just like lost all my prayer potions.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah,
Barrows was tough back in the days.
we had to walk uphill both ways.
We had to walk up Barrows hills both ways. Yeah.
But yeah, no, my parents never really understood it. Like, you mentioned your brother. I don't know about what your parents think about it, which is always my favorite question to ask. But like my parents never understood like video making or like the YouTube stuff until they started seeing results and like the good things that came out of it. And they're like, oh, actually, we support you now.
Oh, you got a free trip to London?
Oh, there's a pay stub.
Yeah, here's the pay. Yeah. Do you have like parents or other relatives that kind of like what are their feelings towards it? Are they supportive or?
Yeah, so right now it's just my immediate family, just my mom, stepfather, brothers and sister that really know about it. The rest of my like extended family like know I do it, but they don't know it as well as my immediate family does. I guess if you could say that. But like my mother just thought it was like a hobby thing because I was also working on the side, and I only took this on full time. I think it was around last Thanksgiving when I started like making this my main source of income.
Right.
Definitely didn't do that because my old tax firm closed down at the end of last July. That had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of saw it as an opportunity and just like took a dive on it. And then my mom finally understood like what it was. Only because my brother asked for my my stream analytics. He was curious, like, oh, how many followers you get from that stream? So I sent him the whole thing. And he showed it to my mom and explained like what everything meant, like what a subscriber means, what bits mean, what followers mean. And she like did the numbers on it and so much money that one stream made, and all of a sudden she was like, "Oh shit, I support you now."
Yeah. You're not gonna move back in with me? All right, I like it.
Yeah.
What's even better, she took the picture and printed it out, and it's literally magnetized to the side of our fridge. I'm just like,
it's like artwork.
I went down there.
No way.
I went down there during the summer, and if you know a couple of other content creators, BF Rocket and RSGF.
Mm-hmm.
So I met up with them the last time I went down to see them back in June, and they saw it on the fridge as well. I'm just like, what the fuck? Why is this here?
That's fucking great.
It's a proud mommy.
So, you know, it's a thing that exists.
Yeah, like, yep. Proud mom moment. That's honestly adorable. I'm here for that.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence with like how I feel about that being there, but it's like cute on merit, I guess.
At least it's not like a naked baby picture. Better than that.
Yeah.
No, those are in the photo albums. Thank God she didn't break those out.
Yeah.
So you said you've met a couple of people. How many people, like streamers, have you met like in real life? Have you been to RuneFest or anything and met up with a ton of these guys, or was that it?
Yeah, I've been to 2 of them so far.
Oh, okay.
2018 and 19 I went to. 19 I met a lot more people than I did in 18.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like a list of people that you would know the names of. Bodhi I've met on both of them. Mutz, Latius, BF Rocket, Exact.
There are people I'm scribbling down to get on the podcast right now. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like the list was like massive. I think just everybody that I talk to actively now that was there at 19 RuneFest, I had met at some point. I just have to go down the list of who I'm following, and I could just name them all.
Oh, that's great. So you got pretty much all the streamers, huh? They all went to RuneFest in 2019?
Anyone that went there on 19, I'm pretty sure I met at some point.
Was
so
it just,
already I met, I know that, yeah.
Was that just everyone decided they were going to go, or did Jagex invite a bunch of people, or it just happened that everybody went that year?
I think they invite kind of the same list of people every year as just their regulars, and then it was just coincidentally a year where everyone decided, hey, we're going to go.
Oh, okay.
And it just worked out.
Yeah, I guess it was kind of like that, like in 2011. They invited a few of us, the really top level guys, and then just everybody else kind of showed up and we all met up with each other. So that's great that you guys are still doing that, keeping a nice tight community going. It's good to see the community like kind of working with each other and meeting up and kind of being friends. Really, it's good to see that still.
Yeah, I do really like the community for old school. It's really nice, really wholesome.
Yeah.
Well, the good side of it, at least. The bad side, like every community.
Yeah, there's a bad side. Yeah, that's true.
We just ignore them.
Yeah, same here. There's a few guys that we don't mention, but Cal knows what I'm talking about.
That's why I asked that question right off the bat.
Yeah, we just don't talk about them bad apples. We just move on and get a new basket.
That's right. Yeah.
So I know you kind of do a unique thing with like the Ultimate Hardcore, and you're just kind of playing the game. Is there anybody that you would say inspired you to do kind of what you did, or is it just your own thing that you were streaming in and it became popular, so you just kind of gone with it?
Luke's was definitely my initial inspiration for all the PVM stuff that I started on, just like getting into solo raids because he was the first person I saw do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then streamers like Lake and Puggin, who were better than me at solo raids by far, just I would learn a lot from watching them, and they would inspire me to like get better at that craft.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
It's pretty much just anyone that's like good in their craft for the content. Like Inferno, when I was learning that, we had Calvino, CPL Eric. I would learn a lot off of as well. And Ad1, when he streamed, I learned quite a bit from him too.
Okay.
Yeah, when it came to Solo Theater of Blood, my initial one was Wook's, but then if you know the name exact, I remember watching his streams when he would go live and there would only be about like 4 or 5 people watching him, and he was doing Solo Theater of Blood, and I learned a lot from watching those.
Yeah.
Way back when.
That's great.
So, yeah, that was like all my initial inspirations. There's a lot more people I can't list off. Kind of like the list of people I met at RuneFest is just way too many to name.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of people coming up to you, or you like that's 2019? I don't know how big you are back then. Or did you have people coming up to you knowing who you were?
Quite a few people. Definitely not anywhere near as many now because I still wasn't partner. I think I was still averaging like maybe 20 or 30 viewers if I wasn't doing solo tab.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like on a good day. So I was definitely much smaller, but a good handful of people knew about me.
Well, that's great. Good to know that you have fans watching, meeting them in person. It's always fun.
Are they doing another RuneFest sometime soon? I
don't know.
Figured
England's
no.
kind of.
I haven't.
They're
been
still.
keeping up. Yeah.
Their COVID situations, I think, kind of iffy still. Like the U.S., we're kind of spoiled. We've been getting all the vaccines here, so I think everybody else is a little iffy still. So, unless they have it here in the U.S., I don't know that it's happening.
Yeah, it's still just kind of iffy with the COVID situation. We're definitely not getting it this year. That I can tell you for certain. Yeah. Hopefully, we get it next year because I've been itching to go to another one and just meet up with everybody again. Yeah, we all kind of have.
I'm kind of wanting to go again just to meet some of the new guys because I've talked to a few of them here, and I still feel like I'm a complete outsider. I don't know anybody, but it's good to kind of meet up with people and you learn new names and things like that. It's great.
All the OGs will remember the name Excl.
I don't know about that. People keep saying that. I don't
Jason,
agree. But
Jason, you have to tell him the story about that guy at work.
Oh God. There's not much
people just know your voice. Yeah, no, it's funny though. You should tell it.
Okay, so I work like at a tech company, and we got one of the guys like on our programming team, and we have what's it called, Zoom meetings, and I joined the Zoom meeting, and I was signed in on YouTube as the real Excl account to do like upload a video or something like that or check comments, and I forgot to log off of it, and I tried to join a Zoom meeting with that account, and it said you don't have. And I basically got the rejection, and I'm like, oh crap! And then I signed back in with my work address, and then one of the guys in the chat's like, oh, are you actually the Excl? I used to watch your vids back in the day. I'm like, oh no.
See?
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, speaking of which, what do you remember about those days? You said you were more of a casual player back then. What did you do kind of back in those like 2009, 2010 days?
Kind of just made my own goals, did what I wanted to do. I wanted to max out melee combats and Slayer and stuff. And that was like around that time when your videos were like popping and hot and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When I was watching your stuff, I remember to Noob Show. Skychi wasn't really around that much anymore, but I remember his videos from like ages ago.
Yeah, man, dude, we've been trying to get a hold of him. He is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I even remember like No One's Perfect videos, Nightmare RH's videos. Dude, that was a completely different era.
Yeah, we just had him on like 2 weeks ago. He's a hoot to talk to. He was fun.
I definitely got to give that one a listen to. I saw that. I'm like, oh man, I gotta hear that fucking voice again.
He's really matured. It was really like he's like an adult now. It's really funny.
So what you're telling me doesn't break the TV with a sledgehammer in this podcast?
Well, I'm not gonna say no, but
So outside of like RuneScape, do you have any hobbies or anything that you do just not like off the computer?
Nowadays, it's definitely died down quite a bit. Mostly, like I said before, it's just getting into exercise and actually keeping myself
Oh,
like physically fit. And I've started realizing as I get older, like that's kind of important now
yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
A lot of it's mostly
Yeah.
just like hanging out with friends, seeing like an odd movie that comes out, just going out to get something to eat, shooting the crap, maybe hitting the bars for a little bit.
Oh, okay. What's the last movie you've seen?
I gotta think back now because
It's been
the
a while.
last time I actually went to see a movie was like months ago. Because like, there's not really been that many good titles out.
Yeah, it's
recently.
been kind of bare
No.
lately. You haven't seen anything
Okay,
streaming?
I remember the last time I went to a theater, and it was with my last partner.
Mhm.
It was a One Piece movie that was subtitled, and she really, really wanted to see it.
Oh,
So
boy.
I agreed. I've never,
Yeah.
mind you, I've never seen an episode of One Piece in my life before. I
Yeah.
have absolutely no clue about what's going on in the damn
That is
movie
a
or the
good
damn show at all.
boyfriend right there. Yeah.
So I was like, whatever, I'll go see it. It was actually a pretty decent movie. I kind of kept up with what was going on. It was good. I'd definitely give it a thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
Good.
I wouldn't pass the judgment to Siskel or Ebert because I don't think they like anime. I'm not too big a fan of it personally. But that was the last one I saw, and it was only available for like that 1 week in that one theater.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
it was like it had to be seen then.
Oh, wow.
You haven't seen anything on streaming lately? They're moving everything to streaming now. It's like you can't. They're not even bothered with theaters anymore. They're just putting it like straight to streaming. Have you seen anything there lately?
No, nothing's really caught my attention.
Oh, really?
It's like something I want to watch.
Yeah, same
Maybe
here.
because I just hold all the movies I've seen to a higher pedestal, and I'm just like, if it doesn't compare to that, I don't really want to see it. Like we're talking, if it's not the level of Dark Knight Rises and Dark Knight.
Oh,
See, you've reached the boomer.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You've reached the boomer tipping point because it gets to the point where it's like, okay, the stuff out nowadays, it's not as good as when I was a kid. It's you're
Yeah, but those movies were okay.
You've hit that point now.
The Dark Knight movies were like the best like superhero blockbuster series because they were actually good.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Movies now. No, see, we're all boomers now because we're all saying the same thing. Like movies these days, they don't have a story. They're no good. Shake my cane at
They
them.
do. It's just like the Marvel movies are all the same. Sorry, hot take.
Yeah, I agree. It's not.
We might have to get into a 1v1 fight in Edgeville after this podcast is over that comment right there.
Getting challenged at the dual arena. What's going on?
Myself into trouble. Yeah. You mentioned that you're getting into fitness as well, and that was
Kyle's. I perked up Kyle's ears.
You tipped me off with you picked me up when you said the Dark Knight and fitness, and I was like, oh, nice. What are you looking to do? Are you getting into like some cardio, weightlifting?
Right now it's just cardio, just going on casual jogs. I'm not looking into like getting a gym membership just yet until I actually want to start like maybe bodybuilding, but that's probably not going to be in the question because I don't really care about building muscle mass. I just want to be at the point where I can, like, be out and about and like walk around the entire day if I'm going sightseeing or like on vacation. I'm not huffing and puffing after 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Yeah, it's great. Do you have any plans? Did you want to travel somewhere?
I typically do travel a lot, mostly just with my family. Whenever we go on vacations, they'll invite me over. It's like, hey, we're going to be going to like, X place. Like we're supposed to be going to England to see family at the end of the year.
What part?
You have family there? Nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to dox your family, so I won't ask where
No,
they are.
That's why I'm fine with revealing. The only thing I cared not to reveal is just where I went to school, because that I'll just keep off the table.
No,
but everything else, I don't give a shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I've been to England a couple of times. I love it out there. I wish I could go to more European countries as well, but any goals of places that you want to go in the future? Like Australia?
As of right now, nothing really piques my interest. Australia, yes, but only because I have a few friends that live out there, and I've heard that everything down there wants to kill you, so that sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
that sounds fun.
I don't want to see the spiders there, dude. Fuck that.
I've heard they get summer, we get winter and stuff like that. It's from what I hear from a few people, it's actually really beautiful down there.
Yeah, just don't go out into the wild there, because like they said, everything out there will try to kill you.
Yeah.
But so are you? You say you're streaming full time now? That's your full on job? You don't have any other side jobs or anything that you're doing?
No, not right now. I'm putting all my efforts into this, keeping it that way. And if it ends up like falling through, or I just don't care for it anymore, then I'll just apply to like a new firm, just get a new accountant job, probably within like a few days of applying or something, and just resume life like that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm liking where I'm at right now.
Is it doing pretty?
If you're in accounting, it's very marketable. That's your field is accounting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're
Yep.
you're good to go.
It's
safety
something.
net. Yeah.
Pays the bills.
Yeah.
It paid the bills. It's not exactly like the most interesting thing, like the most like flashy job or whatever, but it paid the bills. I was interested in it. I'm good at it. It just kind of worked.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that you can play a game now and get paid for it and actually live off of that, and it's not like you have to get a second job, that's amazing. That's pretty much what everybody aspires to, is that you could play a game and get paid for it. It's what, like sports people, are the same thing. You're playing a game, you're getting paid for it. You can do something you enjoy, and I think that's awesome. So
to this day, the concept just still baffles me, and I still can't believe it. But here we are.
Right.
yeah, me too. I'm like, wow, people play video games up, and people just watch it, and you get paid for it. That's great. I wish I knew about this or actually did this 10 years ago when I had a following and could have gotten paid for it. But but it's great to see all these people doing it now. So kudos to you, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm really interested in where do you want to take your content in the future,
Right.
like in the next what's your for the next few upcoming years, where do you want to go, where do you want to be, or maybe you already are where you want to be. And I think it's really interesting talking to some of the people we've had on before who do a lot of scripted content, but you're more of just you do a lot of challenges and really difficult things. And to me, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around. I'm like, oh, what is he what on earth is he going to do next? There's how many challenges can you I imagine there's got to be an unlimited amount of challenging things you could do in the game. But I guess where do you see, or where do you want to be with your Twitch channel and stuff? Do you want to be in the other games? Do you want to stay in RuneScape, keep doing challenging things?
I would love the flexibility to be able to move to another game and not have it impact my income that much, even though that's not exactly in the cards, just because of how variety and old school RuneScape streamers work.
Yeah.
Sickner was definitely the anomaly, where he moved into RS3, he moved into other games, and still kept his massive audience following him everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's really hard to do. I can speak from experience with that. As soon as you move to something else, and that's when the hate comes rolling in, and even if the game's dying and you're not getting the views that you want to, or whatnot, it's very difficult to move to something else unless you've already kind of planned ahead and started doing something that works unilaterally across all kinds of games. So yeah, I could feel you there.
Yeah, I mean, if our game ends up dying full on into the dust in the next year or so, and I have no interest in playing and streaming other games, or it's just not working for me, then not back into the working field.
Yeah,
and just treat it like it was a nice little vacation. It was very nice.
Well, just wait a year, and that's when they'll roll out with old school RuneScape, and then you can go back to doing what you did before.
Yeah.
Hop back on, click the go live button, see where it goes over again.
Just make sure you do it right away. Don't wait 8 years like I did to start doing stuff again, and nobody knows who you are. So just make sure you jump on it right away.
Yeah, I've definitely learned how to capitalize on things when they happen now.
Yeah.
I've started seeing that, because Twitch was a thing when old school came back, and I didn't get into streaming anything. Granted, the only PC I had was this really crappy MacBook that I had for university. It was horrible. And it still turns on today, but the screen flickers randomly for no reason. It's definitely past its prime.
Oh my god!
It's terrible. It definitely couldn't run something like that.
You really?
I think I got it in 2008, because it was on a deal for people were going to university for their first year and stuff, and you had to show proof of enrollment, and you would get a PC at a discounted price with a free iPhone, I think it was.
Yeah.
No, it was a free iPod you got. Never mind.
Oh my god.
Well, hardcore Iron Man solo theater blood is nothing when you're doing that on a 15-year-old compuder. That's the amazing part.
Wait, that should be your next challenge. Yeah, do it on the old MacBook.
No.
No.
I'd rather just let the account die to a chicken or something at the start of it.
Oh god, dude.
So thanks. Just keep me away from that. I do agree with what Kyle said, though, how there is an endless sea of challenges you could potentially take in this game, because you could do anything. There's no journey that's too outlandish, because such a thing just is not a thing. But there is, at the same time, there's just this line where it becomes not a challenge and just really monotonous and annoying to do.
Right.
Right.
And it's like, hey man, in order to continue this grind for the series, I'm going to have to get 99 mining to get the mining cape, because by using the mining cape, I will spawn myself a bronze pickaxe. The only way I can get a bronze pickaxe in this region is through the mining cape. So we're going to be at these tin ores for the next 2 months of gameplay. Not 2 months real time, 2 months gameplay. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, that's just the...
This is why I started up the podcast, so I could do stuff like that. Here I'm sitting here like pickpocketing Alcrid warriors so I could actually level stuff up while I'm doing something productive, because nobody wants to sit here watching me do that. So that's what you got to do.
Do that. You're gaming right now.
Yeah.
You can see what I'm doing. I'm putting in no effort, maybe like clicking once every 5 minutes, and that's about it.
What are you doing right now?
I'm currently in Nightmare Zone. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I wouldn't know what to do if I were there, but yeah, I've heard of it at least.
You do nothing, and you just get experience. It's great.
Sweet.
That sounds great. You have to show me how to do that. Just
click start a dream and then go. Just go in, the monsters come to you, you leave on auto retaliate, your character just do the rest.
All right. That sounds great to me.
Great update, honestly. I think definitely one of the best updates they've put into the game. It definitely defines old school RuneScape. It's got that old school feel. The layer is just a reskinned King Black Dragon layer, and it's just a bunch of quest bosses that just come at you.
Oh, that's like the Dominion Tower. You remember when they did that? And they were rolling that out when we went to RuneFest. They were like, "Try out Dominion Tower," and it's like a dead update now.
Like a lot of stuff from the 2010 era.
Like a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Eric, you want the real kicker? This is going to make you laugh. You know what the name of the guy is that sets up the dream for you for Nightmare Zone?
What?
Dominic Onion.
Oh, no way, dude. Yeah. Oh, Dom Onion? Fuck off.
That's great.
Oh, my God. That's funny. At least they acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm. There's memes all over this game if you look hard enough.
Oh, yeah. We saw one, like, we went to, where was it? It was the Dark Souls stuff. They had the one guy that was like a spoof of him.
Oh, yeah, they have Solaire in the game if you play Dark Souls.
Oh, yeah, the second floor of the Zaya castle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Solaire armor.
Yeah, I was like, that's fucking cool. It's straight up just him. It's not even like a reference. It's literally just a copy pasted it. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm about
Not going to worry about copyright issues. Just going to do it. No big deal.
Nope. You want your mind blown a bit further?
Yeah, let's do it.
What if I told you that Bob Ross was in the game?
Oh, we saw him. Yeah.
Oh, we saw him.
Yeah.
You saw him. You already seen Robert Boss then?
Yeah, we took a field trip.
Robert Boss. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I can't remember who that was with. We did like a field trip with all the RuneScape memes.
It was Green Dragon Bot, wasn't it?
Oh, Green Dragon Bot was giving us the tour.
Yeah, because we're boomers.
Tour.
We don't know anything like west of Ardoin. So he went and showed us a tour of all the new areas that we had no idea existed, and got a bit.
We got to get you into Prifddinas so you can check that place out.
What's that?
We got to have you guys check out Prifddinas. Well, you got to finish that quest first before you can even get in there.
Yeah, I got a lot of quests.
Jason hasn't even heard of Regicide, so he's not going to be there anytime soon.
Oh, Regicide. Yeah, I remember that one. Okay. I vaguely remember that one now.
He's just saying that.
Oh God, I need 56 agility to do that one. Okay.
It's gonna be a bit.
Yeah,
we'll have you back on in like 2 years, and then we'll talk about Prifddinas.
I'm at 45 now, so yeah, I should be done with that by December. And then I can get the other prerequisites for that quest that I probably a ways off on.
Someone in your chat says he's going to have a hard time with Underground Pass. Yeah, please stream that. I got to see that.
Yeah, Jason, can you just stream you doing quests?
I've been doing that. So like on the off weeks, because we haven't been doing the podcast every week. On the off weeks, I've been
no guide though. You can't.
Oh no, I've been doing no.
I want to see you read the dialogue and do the funny character voices.
Okay, gosh, that would take forever. It would be like, please
entertain me, dance monkey.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing on the off weeks. Is I've been knocking off the quests. I've actually done probably about 12 quests in the last couple of podcasts.
All right,
so I'm coming along. I finished off all the free to play ones, so I've got all green on free to play, which I didn't think I would actually get to. But now I'm on the members quest. I think the problem is I don't have the levels for a lot of stuff. So, and the fights get a little dicey. We were doing what was it, that troll one? I can't remember the name of it. We were doing the troll one, and I was getting my butt handed to me by the trolls. I can't remember the name of it. Gosh, I'm terrible with names.
We did it. You and I did it?
No, I did it last week. The one where you have to go where the trolls are throwing the rocks at you, and then you go underground. You have to kill the general down there.
Oh, the mountain boots quest.
Yeah, exactly. The climbing boots. Quest. Yeah. I did that one, and I was getting pummeled. I actually have somebody come in with food and potions to like spell me because I was like hiding in a corner with my last 3 points of prayer for protect from melee. And I was like, I need help. Someone come rescue me. So they came
top tier entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. Watch me get my butt kicked to simple quests. So yeah, I've been starting to do that. So I don't know how entertaining that is. Compared to guys doing hardcore Theater of Blood solo, but I'm trying to do it.
I will say honestly, if you've ever heard who Jellyfish is, she's somebody that's I guess fairly new to the old school RuneScape scene. Maybe like 2 years ago she started streaming it.
Yeah, I've heard of her.
And she does guideless old school RuneScape.
Oh, okay.
And she has mods like making sure no spoilers get in or anything, and she just plays the game completely just like a fresh player.
Oh man,
wait, that's
it's actually kind of wholesome to watch.
Yeah.
Guideless.
I didn't do that back in the day. I would just have like Rune Wiki or something open, or not Rune Wiki, whatever it was back in the day.
Rune HQ,
or Tippet or something. Yeah, Rune
HQ. Yeah, Tippet, dude.
I have one of those.
Tippet, dude. Fucking.
I do people that work
there. Dude.
Zybez.
Fucking Tippet.
That's the illegal one, isn't it? You get banned for saying Zybez.
Oh, that's right. Zybez. Get Jason banned on Twitch.
I don't think it's RuneScape that would ban you, not Twitch. But I don't know what it was with Zybez. Was it synonymous with botting or something like that? I thought it was just a guide.
They like, I don't. Do you remember, Brendan? It was like, I think they like they were like selling something. They're like doing real world trading or some shit.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was. I never noticed that. I was just using it for the guide for questing, and like if you mentioned it on the chat, they would ban you or give you a vacation anyway.
I didn't really hear of anything like of Zybez doing real world trade. The only reason I know of Zybez is because when Old School came out, they had like an unofficial grand exchange on there. So if you want to like buy or sell items, you went there for it.
I mean, that's what it was. They didn't like the competition.
Well, there was no grand exchange back then when Old School got released.
It was back in the days when you had
West, Malador East.
You had to stand in the bank and shout out like what you were selling among everybody else, and then repeat it as fast as you can before it's.
I missed that shit though. Yeah,
the real experience.
Yeah, buddy.
Now it's just click, click, go.
Yep.
Got my stuff. Back to doing whatever the hell it was I was doing.
Yep. Efficiency.
Bro, I remember making a full-on forum post saying I had 500 raw lobsters to sell.
Those were the days.
That was
the boomer.
Those were the days.
Kyle's going full boomer again.
I remember those.
I remember the days when I had to sell my lobster in the forum.
God.
Go listen on Craigslist.
I remember merchants on the forum too. I got first introduced to them when I got my first Barrows piece way back when, and it sold for like $3 million. It was a Barrows Brexard. That thing is worth like maybe 100 and something K now. Back then it was like $3 million.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
And I see posts of people buying it and then reselling it for like 200K more. Like these are my buy prices, these are my sell prices for all the Barrows pieces I have.
Yeah, it was like the Wild West of like prices. Like people, you could just name your like. It was like fucking Facebook Market out there, dude. It was there was no regulation.
It was beautiful. It was basically just straight up free trade and not a controlled. Well, it kind of was a controlled market, but wasn't. It felt more natural than the artificial grand exchange that we have now.
Yeah.
It's
Grand exchange is like the Fed. Now, yeah, I like the old.
Yeah, the fucking RuneScape Feds are here, dude. Fucking narcs.
Oh, man. Put the crack away. The grand exchange is here.
Well, on that note, we are at the top of the hour. So we'll probably cut off our podcast stream. If you want to hang on for another hour or so, you're welcome to it. But I'd like to thank you for coming on. It was great getting a chance to talk to you, getting a feel for these new streamers. So it was great to have you on. And 2 weeks from now, we don't have a guest yet. We may actually take a break or so. Kyle's still trying to settle into his house. I'm trying to find guests. That's what I'm doing. But hopefully we'll get somebody. We had a couple leads at people that may come on, so we'll get somebody hopefully. But yeah, thanks again for coming. It was great talking to you. And we'll see you guys next podcast in a couple of weeks here.
Yeah, it was great having me on. Thank you.